Alright, Ralathar Renaris here. A little bit of a different video, but I'm going to try to keep this one short and sweet for you. Anyways, having discussions on Furry Pride versus Trolling video of mine, in which I basically call a bunch of people spouting off Furry Pride and a bunch of trolls idiots at the same time. Because, let's face it, they are. But regardless, we're having a discussion on that video with Duke Mudkip of LOLshire, which I'm assuming is just an alternate handle of Zuluk the Mudkip. Unless, you know, there's just like all sorts of Mudkips. He says that we've had discussions before. I don't recognize the name, so I'm assuming it's Zuluk. Anyhow, continuing. During that discussion, he made the comment that I am automatically more biased in any discussion about furries because I myself am a furry. Now, granted, you know, this isn't really much of a threat because it's a pretty obvious false dichotomy, and it also neglects to mention that him being on the opposing side would suffer similarly from an equal and opposite bias. But I admit being curious as to how YouTube views the situation. So I ask you two questions. 1. What do you think my personal bias on the situation is? On furries in general, and trolls in general. Do you think I'm really biased towards furries? Do you think I'm neutral? Do you think I'm close to neutral and leaning one side or the other? And yeah, I hope you don't think I'm biased towards trolls, because I really dislike trolls. I'm probably gonna say here that I do lean slightly towards furries, but that's just because I know more jackass trolls and idiot trolls than I know jackass and idiot furries. And considering the rate of drama in the fandom, and you know, my more prominent contact with furries and trolls, that's kind of sad. So I would personally give myself a slight bias towards furries. But I do try my best to not be incredibly biased and be as fair as possible. Now, I would ask that you judge this based on my videos that I've made here, based on my comments, and based on things like even the recent controversy where we had the Furry Op scandal, where I was actually given props by several trolls, thank you again by the way, for my stances in that issue, away from the public eye, without knowing that anyone would ever really see those responses, by the way. Alright, now that that whole question is over, a second one. Just because you're part of a certain group, or race, or religion, or what have you, does that automatically make you more biased than someone else on the subject, regardless of your own individuality? And I mean, we're talking about the range here, not just your average opponent, not just your zealot from the other side, and not just your person that tries to view everything equally. I mean, if you want to break it down, that's fine. If you want to do it, your opinion on average furry versus average troll, average woman versus average man, etc. and so forth. But I would ask that you try to be a little bit clear on that because of the complexities in the issue involved. So, I guess that's it, you know? How biased do you think I am? And do you think that you're automatically more biased on an issue than someone else just because you belong to a certain group or race, religion, etc.? Later, YouTube.